What's up, guys? This is Andres from the Strong Family Money Show. In this episode, I will give you my 5 reasons why people fall into a financial hole. I usually upload these by themselves on as parents, and you not have a plan to in your Disney Plus and all that stuff on your computer, right? You can use, and when you're in a caloric deficit, to try to so for whatever reason I've been thinking about this week. So finances is just an example, right? At times people say they get to a place that they don't like to be in, and they don't know how they got there, or they say they don't know how they got there, right? They don't want to know how they got there. So I'm thinking of this in terms of finances and being in a financial hole, right? You debt and no savings, and it can sneak up on you if you don't pay attention. So I was thinking, why do people get there, right? What are they doing or not doing that gets them to this place, right? So I wrote down 5 reasons why I think people get there, and what you can do to get out of it or not get there. I have other videos that probably are better in more detail of how to get out of it. But anyway, let's start. So the first reason is they want to keep up with the Joneses, right? And a lot of my sayings are old sayings, but bear with me. So you see somebody else, right? You see somebody else and they have lots of cool things, right? They drive a nice car, they have a bigger house, they are dressed nice, whatever. Good for the Joneses. But what people try to do is, and this is a recurring theme in my videos, is they don't know what the Joneses had to go through, what they do, how hard they work to have the things that they have, right? They didn't just decide one day to get up and go to the Mercedes dealership and drive off the lot with a Mercedes, right? They had to do something, or are doing something now, right, that allowed them to go and get this thing, right? Most people just say it's, they just see that they say they have a Mercedes, I want one, right? Why should they have a Mercedes and I don't have one? And then they go to get a Mercedes, but they can't afford a Mercedes, right? They don't understand that the Joneses work 60 hours a week, went to school for however many years, right? Are frugal with their money, right? Their Mercedes probably isn't even theirs. They can write it off because it belongs to their business, right? So they don't know why the Joneses have this Mercedes, right? They just know that they want to be like the Joneses, right? So that can get you into trouble because you don't have the understanding of what it takes to really be like the Joneses, right? You just want to be them, right? And that will get you into trouble. Over the long haul, you buy a bunch of stuff that you can afford, and it'll all catch up with you. Another reason is they just don't know how to handle money, right? We see it with like an extreme case, right? Professional athletes, right? Lottery winners, right? People that have never had any money at all. Once they get some kind of money, they're financially illiterate, and they don't know what to do with it, right? They just know that money is meant to be spent, right? And they do that. So they get every cent that comes in, they just throw it out in the world, and everyone loves them because they're great to be around, because they party, they always treat to dinner, right? Because they don't have any financial literacy to understand that there's a finite amount of money that I have, right? And I just can't spend and spend and spend, right? Because it'll run out, right? So if you don't have any, if you never had any money, right? If it's like, so you go to school whatever, you're poor, and then you get your first job, right? And relatively speaking, that's a big jump in pay from making nothing to making whatever you're making your first job. That's technically a big jump in pay. And if you don't have the foundation of how to handle your money when you don't have any, and then when you get some, you expect to know everything. That's a big joke, right? You're gonna get yourself into a lot of trouble if you just decide to jump in and spend all your money that you have because you got it now, you got a job, right? Money's always going to be rolling in, so there's no reason to not spend it, right? So financial literacy as early as you can get it, preferably when you don't have any money to spend, is probably the best way to get it. Third, your spouse isn't on board, right? You can be Scrooge McDuck, okay? You can be the tightest dude in the world, right? But if your wife is a spender and you're a saver, you're not going to get anywhere, right? You're going to be putting money away and she's going to be spending it as soon as you put it in the bank. So you and your spouse have to be on the same page financially, or else it'll cause problems in your marriage and it'll cause problems in your bank account, right? So you guys have to be on the same page, right? Or else you just be, driving around in circles. They have no budget. This probably falls into one of the other ones, but if you don't plan, what's it saying? If you don't plan, you're planning to fail, right? So if you don't have a budget, right? If you don't know what you're going to spend your money on, or what you need to spend your money on, right? You just have this number, this bank account, and you can just use it, right? You got to have a budget. You got to know where your money's going. You got to know where it's coming from. You got to know where you need to make more at, where you need to cut from, right? You need it. I've made a budgeting video, and I've made videos of the videos. You can look around the channel. But you definitely, not having a budget is setting yourself up for some problems. And last, which is probably the most important, is people that don't know how to deal with, quote unquote, the suck, right? If you want to make progress financially, it's going to suck because you can't spend at will. You have to save as much as you can. You got to work as much as you can, right? Because your only true weapon is how much money you have, and the only way you can get a big weapon is to not use it, right? So it burns holes in their pocket, right? They get $100 and they want to spend it instead of, spend 20. You have $100, spend 20, right? Put the other 80 away. Over time, that'll grow, and you'll have a big account to do important things with, right? Buying a fancy car, right, is not important. It's not important how other people see you, right? What's important is how you take care of your family, how you plan for your future. At the end of the day, are you going to have something to say, I worked all my life for this, right? When you get to the end, if it's in your plan, right, do you have wealth to disperse to your family and your children, right? Can you, do all the things you want to do for people with the money you have, right? It's not going to come from anywhere else but your hard work. So, you got to be able to deal with the suck, right? And, so all these things are fixable, right? You're not, out of luck, right? Because you don't know how to do them now, or you're doing something you're not supposed to, right? You sit down, you say, you look at yourself in the mirror, right? And you say, I am terrible with money, right? What can I do to change that? And, it's going to be planned. It's going to be don't spend. It's going to be nobody pays my bills but me. So it doesn't matter what the other people are doing and what they have, right? They're not going to give me money, right? They're not going to pat me on the back and, oh, that's a cool car, right? They have one too. What do they care you have one? Right? So once you realize you have a problem, you can fix it, right? So the first thing is to say, this is the position that I'm in, right? I am financially illiterate, right? How do I get literate, right? I keep up with the Joneses. I'm going to stop looking at others and coveting what they have. That's you know, it's all fixed. That's how you fix it, right? You look at yourself and you say, what needs to be fixed? What do I need to change? What do I need to learn? What do I need to do? Right? And you know, I have notebooks of stuff that, you know, I write down, right? This is, you know, I'm not doing this, I gotta do this, right? I want to plan this is what I gotta do. And you just write, you put it on paper, right? If it's in here, you know, if it's in your head, it's like it's not, doesn't even exist, right? You gotta get it out, right? You gotta tell somebody, you gotta write it down, right? And then once you see it, then you say, oh, it's a real thing now. Because in your head, you also have the fantasies of being a professional athlete when you were younger, right? In here, it's not real, right? Once you get it out, right, you can then fix it because it's real. So, admitting you have a problem, looking how to fix it, right? Understanding that you are in control of what you do, right? Understanding that you are the reason that you're in a financial hole, right, is the most important thing you can do. And at that point, you can then work on changing that. Okay? There's always time. Anything can be fixed. Right? You just want to have to be able to put in the work to do it. Most people don't want to do that. That's why lots of people are in financial holes. That's why the number of people that make a lot of money is small, right? It's because people don't want to say, I don't know, this is the mistake I made, I gotta fix it, it's hard, I'm gonna do lots of work over a long period of time, and I won't see any benefit until I get to the end, right? People don't want to do that. Anyway, this is Andres from the Strong Family Money Show. Thanks for listening, and I will talk to you guys next time.